Hello and welcome to China and Caribbean Countries Youth Talk, a special program brought to you by CGTN. My name is Wang Guan from Beijing, China. In today's episode, we'll explore China's evolving relations with countries in the Caribbean. And what better way to do it than to invite some young people from both sides to have a free-ranging conversation. Joining us today are Raul Calasar from Guyana, Corey Johnson from Jamaica, hello, Alex Pang from Barbados, and Arnisha McIntosh from the Bahamas. We also have with us Guo Wenwen, Sun Yimeng, Liu Yuhao, and Xie Yuxing from China. Hello guys, welcome. How are you guys?
Hello.
So good to see all of you.
Hello, hello.
So good to see a full screen of you guys. It's awesome. So we'll talk about people-to-people relations, education and cultural relations of our relations. It's very important, but first of all, for some of those audience who are not terribly familiar with China-Caribbean relations, here's some quick reminder. Now, actually, this year marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Guyana and between China and Jamaica. This year also marks the 45th anniversary of relations between China and Barbados and the 25th anniversary between China and the Bahamas. Now, first of all, I want to ask our Chinese students, what do you think when you think about all these 4 Caribbean countries, which surely have a lot in common, but are all unique in their own? Why don't I start with you, Yimeng?
Hola, I'm Yimeng from Beijing Foreign Studies University, 3rd year in Spanish major. It is a great pleasure for me to have a fantastic debate with all of you guys. So I would like to talk about the Bahamas. As far as I know, it is one of the richest countries in the Americas. It relies heavily on tourism to generate most of its economic activity, so that the tourism not only accounts for about half of its GDP, but also provides jobs for about half of the country's workforce. In other aspects, I'm really fascinated by the coat of arms of the Bahamas. It contains a shield with the national symbols as its focal point. The shield is supported by a marlin and a flamingo. So the marlin and the flamingo are the national animals of the Bahamas. The flamingo is located on the land and the marlin on the sea, which indicates the geography of the islands. On top of the shield is a conch shell, which represents the varied marine life of the island chain. The conch shell rests on a helmet. Below this is an actual shield. The main symbol of the actual shield is a ship representing the Santa Maria of Christopher Columbus, which is sailing beneath the sun. Along the bottom, below the shield, appears a banner upon which is a national motto of the Bahamas: forward, upward, onward together. And also a fun fact about this country is that Grand Bahama is where the ocean scenes were filmed in the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Grand Bahama is the northernmost island of the Bahamas. It is very famous for its vibrant atmosphere. And I know that Johnny Depp enjoyed the area so much that he bought his own island nearby after the film was released. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the Bahamas is certainly famous for many things. Among them, the country gave Chinese citizens visa-free travel some 5-6 years ago. So now, if you're a Chinese citizen, a tourist, if you want to go to the Bahamas, you don't need a visa at all, and you can stay there for, I think, up to 7 days, and that's exactly what I did in 2015. Great memories. Before I go to our next Chinese student, I want Arnisha from the Bahamas to quickly respond. What do you think about our Chinese students' introduction of your country?
So what do I think about, let me introduce myself. My name is Arnisha McIntosh. I'm from the Bahamas, and I studied international business here in Hangzhou in Zhejiang University of Science and Technology, and I've lived in China for 9 years now, going on 10 years this summer, a very long time. So to answer your question, basically what I think the Bahamas is has so many things to offer and so many things to it. And then to also answer where you said that Chinese also have visa-free in the Bahamas, that is also very true. And so you guys are very, very welcome to the Bahamas.
Thank you, Arnisha. Thank you for your intervention. Let me go to you, Yuhao.
Hello everyone, my name is Liu Yuhao. I'm a senior student from China Foreign Affairs University, majoring in English translation and interpreting. My future research interest is health economics, and I hope to have a very pleasant talk with all of you. Thank you. I would like to use several words to talk about my impressions to Guyana. The first thing is its beautiful scenery. It is definitely the picture postcard natural view. Guyana is located at the edge of the Amazon rainforest, so I believe that it must have very fresh air and less contaminated. There are at least 80 waterfalls in Guyana, however, not all of them are accessible. Among all the waterfalls, the most renowned one is called Kaituar Waterfall. I've seen a documentary of Guyana that introduces Kaituar Waterfall, very spectacular, I would say. Guyana stands in the tropical region that means no spring, no autumn, or no winter. The capital, Georgetown, is near the Atlantic Ocean because I'm from Beijing, capital of China, and it's not quite often for me to lie on the beach, enjoy the sunshine, and feel the breeze from the ocean. Another thing is China and Guyana have established close diplomatic ties. Guyana is also the country that is involved in the Belt and Road Initiative. We have in-depth cooperation in COVID-19 response, trade and investment, climate change, sustainable development, etc. When the pandemic ends, I really want to travel to Guyana to enjoy this paradise in natural scenes and broaden my horizon. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you very much, Yuhao. Guo Wenwen, which country do you want to pick?
Hi everyone, my name is Guo Wenwen and you can call me Wenwen. I am currently a senior student at Peking University and I'm studying advertising at School of Journalism and Communication. Also, I have a second major in economics. So today I really want to talk about Jamaica because it has been a country that is like, I'm a fan of Jamaican sport when I was very young, since like 12 or 13, because I'm a person who likes sports very much, and I was also a volunteer for the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. So I really like watching athletic games, and Usain Bolt is kind of like the idol for me.
He's my idol too, man. He's the idol of everyone here, I guess. Corey, you're laughing, huh? You must be so proud. Okay, go ahead.
He's not only like the fastest person before, but also now, since he is far away from the athletic field, he is still the world record holder. And also there are many like women athletes like Thompson and Fraser, and they're like they had the highest world level ever since like 2008. So I think this is something that I'm very interested in. I really want to know that is it because the weather, or is it because like the location that helps these athletes become like the fastest persons in the world? And also I'm a person that is very interested in arts and music. So I really like the pleasure, the satisfaction that rhythms bring me. So I have heard that Jamaica has like their unique types of rhythms, and I really want to know that is it like born in your blood, or is it because you have it in your education or something? And I think that is a very important thing for our Chinese education as well.
Yeah, Corey, you're laughing throughout the way. Do you want to quickly respond before I let Wenwen to continue?
Let me just introduce myself quickly. My name is Corey Johnson. I'm a PhD student at Dalian Maritime University. I can't attribute the greatness of us to the location. It's just more of a competitive nature that we have developed from the high school level. The boys and girls championships that we have annually is the single most attended secondary event in the world. Jamaica only has 2 million people, and high school track and field championships is the single most attended secondary event in the world. So the competitive nature that we have developed, along with the fact that our music was originated from dance. One of the most popular genres of music in Jamaica is called dancehall, and the name basically originates from the dancing of people within a hall together.
You know, Corey, basically Wenwen was asking if it was in your blood to be great dancers, great sprinters, and great athletes.
Yeah, and I'm saying that it's the competitive nature that we developed. At the high school level, we have the single most attended secondary event called the Boys and Girls Championships. In the world, Jamaica only has 2 million people, but it is the most attended high school event in the world. So I think it's the competitive nature that we've developed over the years doing this annually.
Fair enough. It's nature versus nurture, or nature plus nurture, rather. Yeah, hopefully Jamaica will make Chinese citizens be able to travel visa-free to your beautiful country soon. If our Jamaican friends in the foreign ministry are watching this. Yuxing, what about you? Which Caribbean country do you want to pick to talk about?
Hi, my name is Xie Yuxing, and I'm currently a junior student from Sichuan International Studies University. Today, I'm going to talk about my impressions on Barbados. Well, about Barbados, I have to say I like this beautiful country very much. I did some research on the island country. It is located east of the Caribbean Sea with extraordinary natural sceneries. Azure sky and the blue sea merging at the horizon, soft and white beaches, lush and tropical woods, you name it. And the name Barbados was actually from the Spanish, who were actually stunned by the trees with hanging moss, as if at the first sight, as if they were bearded. So Barbados originally means with beards. It's a funny fact. And it's worth mentioning that Barbados became a very recent republic country last year, and away from its colonial ties and the British throne. Actually, 7 months ago, as a volunteer, I got the honor of receiving the Ambassador of Barbados, Mr. Henry, and his secretary, Mr. Archer, at the 14th China-LAC Business Summit held in Chongqing. You know, they are very lovely people, very nice, warm, and very kind. Frankly speaking, when it comes to Barbados, before the summit, when I got to know that my country was Barbados, I was literally jumping for joy, because Barbados was the homeland of my one and only diva, Rihanna. I love her so much. You know, in those days when I was receiving the ambassador, we talked a lot about her. I even learned that they set her birthday as Rihanna Day, which is very exciting. And Mr. Archer shook my hand during the chat because he said he once shook Rihanna's with the exact same hand. So he actually brought me an indirect handshake with Rihanna. I was really excited about it. Hopefully in the future, I would love to visit Barbados to see the beautiful country, beautiful scenery, and beautiful people all by myself in the future, hopefully. Thank you.
All right, I think that's also the hope of many people here in China. Let me turn to our friends in the Caribbean. Foray Johnson from Jamaica, let me turn to you first. We all know about Jamaica. We've heard a whole lot about the country. It's a birthplace of reggae music, Blue Mountain Coffee, Asafa Pao, Usain Bolt, among other things. Also, it's very interesting. Your country ranked first in the Caribbean, actually in the world, on the World Happiness Report for 2021. How did you guys become the happiest people in the world?
In Jamaica, we have a saying, we little but we talawa. It basically translates to mean that we're small, but we're strong. And I believe this strength we can attribute to the fact that we work hard. But more importantly, we play even harder. I think the single most contributing factor to depression is being alone. Jamaicans try to be together. Our motto is out of many, one people. So we tend to be together a lot. We socialize with each other a lot. As the weekend hits, we try to go out in social gatherings, the restaurants, parties. We have a lot of parties. I mentioned earlier that one of our genres of music, dancehall, is basically originates from people dancing within confined spaces. And I think this is the main factor why we are so happy. We try our best to be together a lot, and we socialize with each other. We indulge in recreational activities just as much as we work hard.
I love that. Work hard, play hard. You know, many years ago in my generation, work hard was the go-to motto. But nowadays, I see a lot of my fellow Chinese students, you know, make work hard, play hard their motto. They are very, you know, free in their thinking, and they have a whole lot of social life. Corey, thank you for those nice words. That means a lot. Thank you. Okay, let me turn to you, Arnisha from the Bahamas. There has been an increasing number of Chinese tourists to your country, myself included in 2016. Very good memories, great memories. What is China like to you? I mean, what do you think when you think about China?
First of all, I would start by saying welcome to the Bahamas, and I'm happy you visited the Bahamas. And I'm even more happy that you had a great experience and you're welcome back anytime. So, to answer your question, when I think of China and me living in China, I automatically think of the food. That's the first thing I think of when I think of China. And the mindset of the people and the rapid development of China. China rapidly develops, it really grows and changes a lot. And right now I'm in Hangzhou, China, and here in Hangzhou with the Asian Games coming up, it's quickly changing. The city is looking so different. The metro is being built. So there's so much to see in China, and China is such a beautiful country. I hope to go to more cities, and I really love the hometowns in China. The hometown feeling is totally different compared to the city life. The hometown is like real China, the real food, the real people, the love, the care, the way people care about other people. Chinese people put each other first. Family comes first, and I really admire that. Same thing as in the Bahamas. Family comes first, but I realized that in Chinese culture, Chinese people look out for their people. They care about their people and welcome people with food. Food is the way to the heart. And the same thing in the Bahamas. Food is the way to our hearts.
Well, of course. I mean, food is a very common bond of people from different cultures. Thank you for that introduction. Lovely. So next, I want to go to you, Ra Kalasar, from Guyana. The friendly relations between China and Guyana goes way back. As early as 1853, Chinese immigrants were documented to have set foot on modern-day Guyana. Chinese is one of the 6 ethnic groups there. How do you see Chinese or Chinese Guyanese living in your country as being part of the Guyanese society?
Before I get to the question, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Ra Kalasar, and I study in the field of computer science, majoring in information technology, and I also am studying Chinese language. And one of my main goals in life is to make a positive change or difference in society by helping people meaningfully helping people. And to answer your question, I believe that the Chinese and Chinese Guyanese has played an integral part in the Guyanese society and is still doing so to a greater degree today. Since 1853 to now, they made their mark in the medical field, commerce, in changing legislations, agriculture, education, and building general infrastructure of Guyana. In fact, Guyana's first president, as an independent nation, was an ethnic Chinese, the late President Arthur Chung. Where I live in the city of Georgetown, Guyana, there is much evidence of our Chinese people contributions to Guyana's society. There are a lot of businesses and restaurants that are Chinese owned. These businesses often offers wide range of products and services to Guyana. They cater for the average Guyanese economic situation, and provide support to Guyanese-owned businesses, and even offer employment opportunity to the Guyanese people and foreigners residing in Guyana.
Awesome, that's great to hear. Last but certainly not least, Alex from Barbados. What's your impressions of China?
Hi everyone, my name is Alexandria Payne, but everybody calls me Alex because my name is so long. I'm from the country of Barbados. We recently became a republic, which is such a great thing. I studied at Central China Normal University in China. I lived there for about 6 years, and I am currently a Chinese language teacher at the Confucius Institute here in Barbados. My impressions on China. As I said before, I lived in China for 6 years, so maybe more so than the average Barbadian person. I've had a lot more experience with China and Chinese. And what really struck me most about China is, even though it's so far away and we are often told that we are so different, when I got to China, I actually realized that the Caribbean and China has so much things in common. The major thing that stood out to me about the commonalities were the emphasis on family. I come from a very, very close family. We eat lunch together every Sunday. Every holiday is spent together. We spend a lot of time around each other, and I know that the Chinese are the same way. Everything is surrounded with family. When you look at all the traditional festivals, on National Day, all those things, it's always you traveling to see your family or eating with your family or visiting family. So that was one of the things that struck me the most about China, as well as the long history that China has. That really interested me because Barbados is a relatively new nation. We can't claim as many years as some of the other countries, a lot like most of the Caribbean. And China has a lot to show for the long history that it has. When you look at like the Oracle script bone, like Jaguan, the Forbidden Palace, and the Terracotta Army and the Great Wall, your history is there for you to see. It's there for your generation to track, for future generations to track. And it's not as easy for us from the Caribbean because we are mostly people that were brought here as opposed to we were always here. So that idea of identity is a little bit harder for us to lean into as compared to maybe a Chinese person. And I know in terms of globalization, it's hard to keep your own identity when somebody else comes in. And I think the reason why China is able to invite all these places in and still be Chinese is because of your history. It's so grounded. Everything from your architecture, from your schooling, from your values, everything is very much integrated into the culture about China. So that really fascinated me. And the last thing that I'm going to say that I really, really loved about China, from a small island in Barbados where convenience is not always there, I really enjoyed in China the convenience of things like Alipay and WeChat, and the fact that I could use my phone for pretty much everything, whether I wanted to just go for a ride, whether I wanted to order groceries or clothes, renew my visa, renew my visa or buy train tickets or plane tickets. Everything was accessible by phone. And in Barbados, we're only now starting to become computerized. And we have such a long way to go. We're far behind China when it comes to technology. So I would love to see some of that incorporated more into Barbados. And I think that China is a really good blueprint, especially because you guys have developed so quickly in the last couple of years. And we are also still developing nations in the Caribbean. And I think the interaction between China and Barbados is really beneficial for us because we can learn a lot from you guys because we're so new and you guys have so much more experience than we do. I think that would be a great thing for us. So the technological developments, especially, that really, really fascinated me while I was there.
Alex, you know what? Many Chinese are so envious of you, of your country, because you have so many great beaches out there, all right? Among other things. So there's not only increasing partnership between China and the Caribbean countries in terms of cultural exchanges, education, but also in trade and economic relations, investment, and those things are visible. You know, I was in Nassau, the Bahamas in 2016. I was amazed by the number of construction workers projects going on, conducted by the Chinese companies there in Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas. Actually, President Xi Jinping made a visit to the Caribbean countries in 2013, which certainly gave a welcome boost to the partnerships, economic-wise, between China and the Caribbean countries. Yes, yes. Tell us about it.
He came to my home, and I came back to China because of him.
What was he like?
He came to my home. I saw him in person, shook his hand. I didn't know who he was at the time. until someone told me you didn't realize you met the president. And I'm like, I didn't know. He shook my hand, he spoke, and he told me just go back to China. And I wasn't coming back to China, and then I came back to China because of him.
Oh, you did because of him?
Wow.
Yeah, because of what he said.
So he said basically, welcome back to China?
Actually, it was about the business and developing the country. And I came back to China to basically study international business. And I was supposed to go back home and start my business. I did start my business, but I was supposed to go back home. But the pandemic changed everything.
Yeah, unfortunately. Hopefully, we'll get over that soon. But great to hear your story, Arnisha. You know what? There has been also controversy surrounding China's economic partnership with the Caribbean countries, with your countries. Some see China's growing influence as disturbing and concerning, but others say this offers a new model of cooperation between developing countries based on equality and mutual benefit. Alex, what does a growing Chinese-Caribbean economic relationship mean to you personally?
It means a lot to me because I am one of the, I guess, success stories of what partnership between Barbados and China could look like. When I was 19, I was very, very young. I got the Chinese government scholarship and I was able to travel to China and get my bachelor's degree in Chinese language. And I know so many Barbadians who have done the same. They're even still living in China. They've been living there for over 15 years, over 20 years. We have so many things that we can attribute to our partnership with China. We have hospitals that were built by China. We have roads that were built by China. During the COVID pandemic, China donated Sinopharm, the vaccine, for us. Well, we didn't have any. As well as the Confucius Institute, where I work now, it's providing jobs for locals, as well as a lot of other construction things, especially. But we also benefit from, China also benefits from their cooperation with us. Because, as I said, there are a lot of Bajans in China and they have really, really great jobs in China. They teach English language, they're in tech, they work. I had a friend that worked for Huawei, and he's still there. So it's not, as Corey said, it's not one-sided. I think a lot of people think it's one-sided because China is so big and the Caribbean is relatively small in comparison. But that doesn't mean that there are not benefits. Even with medicine, just us having scholarships to go to China means that we could spread Chinese culture and Chinese medicine. We have a few Barbadians who have came back from China who actually are practicing Chinese medical practitioners. They actually provide Chinese medicine to the Barbadian public who otherwise might not have been exposed to it. As well as we receive medical help from China as well. This is, I believe, the 5th medical team that we've had here who's working at our general hospital, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. It's the only public hospital in Barbados, and China sends a team here almost every year to aid with some of the things that we are unable to do because of financial problems, or we don't have the manpower, because we're a country that have not even hit the millions yet. We're still in the hundreds of thousands. We're very, very small. So just the manpower that we get from China, the medical help, the investments that we get, it means a lot for us because it's helping to develop our country. But it doesn't mean that China does not get the same from us, because the exposure that we give them in this side of the world, the talent that they're receiving from us, because the Caribbean has a wealth of talent. Whether you look at academia, sports, music, cuisine, we have so much talent to offer the world. And by this mutually beneficial cooperation that we are getting into, I think both countries are gaining some great things. And I think that we should continue to do so.
For sure, for sure. I want to bring our Chinese students. Yu Hao, same question. What do you think?
Well, thank you. And I believe that the China-Caribbean relations are based on the principles of an extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits, and which are the core principles of the Belt and Road initiatives. Each diplomatic relationship should build on the basis of mutual respect and equality. And I believe for Caribbean friends, we all know the CARICOM, right? CARICOM is a very vivid example of original collaboration among the Caribbean countries. And I believe the establishment of CARICOM is the evidence of the Caribbean friends to realize that the significance of shared community and also multilateralism. And we believe that China upholds multilateralism and embraces foreign friends to build a shared future for human beings. For example, we have established China LAC Cooperation Fund to promote trade and investment between China and the Caribbean countries. Some may say, well, China is like disturbing the Caribbean countries, but actually I'm quite disagree with this claim. Although we have heard some insightful criticism from different stakeholders and even we've heard some biased statements, we just take them, learn from them, and also improve ourselves, because I think nothing is perfect, but we can keep making progress to make this kind of cooperation reciprocate. The original aspiration of China-Caribbean cooperation is to develop and enjoy shared benefits. This is not only a one-sided cooperation, it is a mutual beneficial cooperation. And I'm quite willing to see more in-depth cooperation in the fields like agriculture, global public health, energy, trade and investment, culture exchange among China and Caribbean countries. Thank you very much.
Yuxing, what do you think?
Well, I have to say, I'm afraid I have to disagree with the claim that China's growing influence is disturbing. The mentality behind such claim, I believe, is a dreadful zero-sum game where China's growing influence and investments will narrow the scope of development of other countries. But the reality is precisely on the contrary. I firmly believe that we, as people longing for peace and all merits of human race, should have the power and vision to set foot on the path leading to a winning situation together. And China has clearly pointed out the path by offering a new cooperation model based on equality. I want to give you a comparison between two speeches. The Prime Minister of Barbados once hit back the BBC over China questions when the reporter depicted Caribbean countries as America's backyard. And the Prime Minister said, I quote, "For you to focus on Caribbean or Africa with China without recognizing the role China is playing in Europe or in other North Atlantic countries, it is disingenuous and really reflects more that we are being seen as pawns, regrettably, rather than countries with equal capacity to determine our own destiny." But in sharp contrast, very recently, in the foreign ministers' meeting among China and the Caribbean countries, our Chinese state counselor and foreign minister Wang Yi once remarked that over the past half century, cooperation between China and the Caribbean countries has yielded very fruitful results, which sets a great example of country developing ties based on mutual respect, equality, and common development, with deepening cooperation in areas like trade, infrastructure, construction, education, culture, and tourism, just like our friends has brought up earlier, especially in infrastructure, construction, and medical supplies. And China, for example, it is a fact that China is the second largest trading partner with the LAC region. And the LAC is also the second largest destination for China's outbound investments. As a volunteer, I myself has witnessed billions of dollars of memoranda and contracts in the infrastructure area, medical supplies, automobiles, etc. in the business summit that I attended. These are not only just numbers and figures, but actually better facilities, more job opportunities, safer communities, and improved livelihood, and in short, actual benefits for people on both sides. So the keyword for increasing influence of China are mutuality and reciprocity that helps develop. And the new model of cooperation by our offer is not framed by borders or cultures, because we consolidate the result that in the 21st century, when peace and development attune with the theme of human visions, nobody should be left behind in a winning situation, an all-win celebration.
Reciprocity is key, definitely. Reciprocity is key. Ra, in Guyana, let me turn to you. We all know that China-Guyana relations goes way back. Chinese projects were started in your country as early as the 1970s. What does China-Guyana relations mean to you personally?
I think this relationship means a lot to Guyana as a developing country. For example, because of the relationship, Guyana continues to benefit from Guyana's help in the development of our infrastructure, like the building of new roads or the major upcoming project, which was contracted to a Chinese company to construct a new Demerara River Bridge that is over 2.5 kilometers long to connect two regions of Guyana. And that means a lot to Guyana because reduce traffic and so for these two regions. Also, we can't forget the kind gesture took in sending medical aids to Guyana at various intervals going back to since 1992 to present. To think about it, we even received these aids during the COVID-19 pandemic. These doctors who made the sacrifice to come must be commended for the hard work they did in helping Guyana during these difficult times. I think continual exchange of knowledge, experience, and technology in the medical field from China will make it possible for a better healthcare in Guyana, such as the ability to do more surgeries using transfusion alternative methods, or to do surgeries, medical procedures, or testing that are not available presently in Guyana. All of these things have only contributed to further strengthening bilateral relationship between Guyana and China.
For sure, you talk about President Xi Jinping. In fact, in May this year, 2022, in the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Chinese Communist Youth League, President Xi Jinping said, and I quote, "The youth deserves all the care, love, and expectations. The youth is like a small tree now, destined to become a big tree in the future and carve up its own place in society." President Xi also compared the young people to the sun, which is destined to light up the whole world one day. What do you make of President Xi Jinping's speech? Let me start with you, Yu Hao.
Well, thank you. I'm quite inspired by President Xi's view on youth. Well, we say teenagers have infinite potential. They should receive better education and also stand in the stage of the international community. Well, China is now becoming more and more integrated into the world. We have much more opportunities to talk with talents from different countries, just like the program today, to have in-depth talks with those Caribbean friends. And also for our Chinese students, we can speak foreign language. And also we can voice out our Chinese views to the world. Well, the future belongs to the younger generation, and we are now undergoing unprecedented changes in an uncertain pandemic. It is our teenagers' responsibility to contribute to our country and also seek friendship among foreign countries. So when we talk about diplomatic ties and multilateral cooperation, it is not merely the task of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We need to foster interdisciplinary talents, young talents, to contribute to the development of both China and the Caribbean countries. For example, under the pandemic, we are eager to have young talents who not only know about diplomatic knowledge, but also know about medical and public health knowledge to deepen our COVID-19 response cooperation, right? These kind of interdisciplinary talents are of the urgent needs for the development of different countries. So from today's program, I'm quite inspired by the views from our Caribbean friends of our Chinese partners. From different perspectives and heated discussions, we know the world better, and I see the bright future of China and the Caribbean people-to-people interaction.
Finally,
know that,
great,
yeah.
awesome. Thank you for your input.
Yeah, we
Finally,
are the
Alex.
people.
Yes, I think President Xi's speech was spot on. I think no matter what country you consider, a country that does not invest in its future is a country that is destined to fail, and the future is the youth. When we, if we don't invest in the younger generation, it will have some adverse effects for all countries involved because we're all connected. China does not just govern China. China is connected to every other place, especially in this age of the internet. And the same goes for Barbados or Jamaica or Guyana or any of the other countries. Our future lies with the youth. And I think that if we do not listen to the youth, we are also telling on ourselves. We are saying that we do not trust our own judgment. We do not trust how we are raising them. We do not trust the knowledge that we are giving them. We're saying that all the hard work that we're doing now has no effect. We have to trust in the younger generation that they are taking in everything that we are saying, that they're taking in everything that they're learning along the way. And we also have to understand that we're going to leave here eventually. We're not going to live forever. And they're going to be the persons who have to deal with all the issues that we leave behind. They're the ones that have to live in the countries and deal with any problems that come up or just how to live their own lives. So for us not to allow them to have a voice in how they want their future to look or how the country will look when they become our age adults, whether in their 20s or 30s or whatever, that's very bad on our part. Because as I said, we're not going to be here forever. We have to leave a legacy for them. And they should be involved in their own legacy.
All right.
So
sure.
I think that...
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, fair enough. You know, I also want to ask Arnisha, because she met with the President Xi herself. Arnisha, finally, what do you think about President Xi's speech?
Honestly, I haven't listened to the speech, but to hear the feedback from you guys and his point on the young people are the path, it's true. The young people are they are the next generation. We should be focusing on them. So we should leave something behind here for them to utilize and develop. So when we work between countries, when two countries come together, we want to develop the countries, and the FDI is the way to go. FDI is really the way to go. We need to invest in our young people and see their dreams and their goals, because yes, China is a fast-growing country, but the Bahamas, for example, the Bahamas is very simple. The island life is very simple, peaceful. Nobody wants to change that. Everybody loves that. But there are some things that can be changed. Technology is one of those things that can help develop the country, and using the resources that we have. So many things can work. Everybody needs a break. Sometimes in China, so many people don't know the Bahamas even exist, and I've lived here for so long. If I say I'm from the Bahamas, nobody knows. For so long, if I say I'm from the Bahamas, people would say, "Oh, is that in Africa?" No, I have to educate people along the way.
Sorry about that.
It's not an exciting feeling to educate people in my 9 years, and only 3 people knew where I was from in my 9 years here. But to further more answer your question, I feel like the relationship could be so much better if people were more educated and if people travel and take a break to enjoy life. You know, because China life is very fast, and island life in the Caribbean is very simple. And sometimes simple is okay. Thank you.
Simplicity is life in a way. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of you, all 8 of you, for being part of today's conversation. We learned so much from you guys. And also, I think it's fair to say that we all learned so much about each other's countries and regions. And that wraps up the China Caribbean Countries Youth Talk. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. I want to thank all of you, our viewers, for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time.